Chairman.
Senator Cornyn.
Mr. Chairman, I think Mr. Fonzone's nomination and the points made by Senator Cotton and Senator Graham raise larger questions. I'm thinking, as I heard the comments about the attempts that Senator Grassley, Senator Feinstein, and those others of us on this committee have tried to implement reforms to the Foreign Agent Registration Act. It's a fact that foreign governments, not just friends, but adversaries, hire lobbyists, law firms, accountants, other people here in Washington, D.C. who, unbeknownst to us, are working on behalf of our nation's adversaries. And the reason why is because the Foreign Agent Registration Act is full of loopholes, and it needs to be fixed. We take an oath of office to uphold the Constitution and laws of the United States, not to do the bidding inadvertently, maybe unwittingly, of our nation's adversaries. This is serious stuff because our nation's adversaries exploit this loophole in the registration of foreign agents. I'll just give you a quick anecdote. Back 2016, I was one of the chief sponsors of the law that called JASTA, which created a waiver for sovereign immunity for countries that finance terrorist attacks on American soil. This is focused like a laser on 9/11. And the 9/11 families who lost loved ones on that terrible day came to us and they said, we think there were foreign nations who financed a terrorist attack on American soil, which resulted in the death of our loved one. And we'd like to be able to go to court to prove it if we can. And so 2 times, this very narrow waiver of sovereign immunity, foreign sovereign immunity in the JASTA bill, passed the Senate, 100-0, both times. We actually overrode a veto by President Obama because I think we all felt like this was a compelling case and that these American citizens who, through no fault of their own, found themselves a victim of a terrorist attack on 9/11 should be able to go to court and seek recourse. I actually had a number of lobbyists on K Street call me and urge me to drop this legislation. They were working for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm not passing judgment on the facts, but I do believe the 9/11 families should be able to go to court and prove what facts that do exist if, in fact, there was a foreign nation that financed terrorist attacks on American soil. The next thing I knew, I had a group of American GIs, veterans, show up in my office and say, we're here because we think you shouldn't pass this law which would give recourse to the 9/11 families. And we inquired as to what possible interest could you have in this topic, and they'd been sold a bill of goods. But they knew, and the people who paid their travel and their hotel bills to come to Washington to lobby against this JASTA bill, that if, in fact, members of Congress believe that, hey, this is something that our veterans care about, and they don't want us to do this, that maybe, just maybe, they'd be able to get some traction. Now, they weren't required to register or to let me or anybody else know that they were unwittingly representing the interests potentially, of a country that financed a terrorist attack on American soil on 9/11. I found that outrageous. I found it downright frightening. So when Mr. Fonzone represents a company, Huawei, which is affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party, and which we have urged our allies around the world not to buy that telecommunications material because it's a backdoor into spying on their communications by the Chinese Communist Party. It does trouble me, as Senator Cotton pointed out, when someone who wants to serve in such sensitive positions has represented them. Again, this isn't so much addressed at Mr. Fonzone specifically, but I wanted to take the opportunity to talk about why this is not a trivial matter. This is a highly significant matter, but it's even bigger than this nomination to this important position. Thank you.